5 minutes.
Why is phone definitely not working? It got a little berry. Why is phone not working?
They said this is refrigerator.
The phone is not working.
That's good. I had this shit on today.
Can I wear that on?
Huh? What you say? What part? The only other we had is the one. Ouch! One of my toes. On the stove, Jim.
It's fucking hot.
I cannot breathe in this gas.
The damn jacket in the overall.
I cannot breathe. I cannot breathe. Why am I saying? Just like that talking.
Take this shit back.
Hello, hello.
Damn, top of this.
I don't
I
like.
thought this was my damn jacket in
I don't like that.
my jacket in the overall.
What? Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. I'm gonna have to change my title. Yeah, because I thought I was live. I wasn't. What the hell? I just. Oh.
Why my school always keeps going down? My theory, um, my phone is coming out so bad.
I ain't got nothing to do with that, little girl.
Motherfucker brand damn new.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it looks cool.
Where my video go?
No. But do you need a video?
That's cool. That one.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Everybody, the ones that work in the freezer, they can't have the brand new boots because that's for outside.
Walmart is the best place ever. But when you actually like work there, you know where the cars and stuff at, where you get all those furniture and stuff from? What? You know the Walmart that we be going to? That Walmart where Nanny at? Yeah. Yeah.
Basically the reason.
Yeah. What about it? I don't know.
This we ain't gonna really be doing it on the floor.
The only problem Walmart had was the one with mine to get that math book. The what? That math book. Oh, from that math book for my class. Yeah.
I thought this was the whole damn suit, like my overall. It's like some big insulated overall. And then it's a jacket. That's what they talking about. We couldn't take home, but I was looking forward to that. I was like, damn, I like this damn jacket.
You got enough damn jackets and all this.
Was all black.
Yeah, you always dress like you going to a funeral.
The overall was black.
I don't know why y'all do that. You know, Travis is like that too. Wayne like that. I don't know why y'all be wearing all black like that.
I don't know.
Whatever. Other colors in the world, you know. Oh boy. I changed my dang on title. The order.
Hello, friends. Today we are making a video. Yeah. Mom, you're blocking the video.
Yeah.
What's up? That's
Is you done?
it.
I'm so bored.
Why won't it click on YouTube? I want to. Click on YouTube. Why?
My face gonna work out again. Girl, will you give your phone time to charge up? Battery be lying. Huh? Huh? Yes, my head hurt. Look,
My neck was bigger. If they had to hold a big old head like yours.
what up? Oh shit.
Your notification or no? I'm so mad.
One was 7 hours ago.
Who?
Said, what you doing, little girl?
Oh, that video with her shooting there making her sandwich. Yeah, I'm so mad at YouTube. Like, I don't know why they suspended my channel like this. Kind of fucked up.
So you in?
It gotta be. What? I can't go live. Even if I wanted to, I can't. Like, I might not have had like them many people on there. Like, I didn't have like no 1,000 subscribers or nothing like that. But I was, halfway there. But when I told you, I checked it, and it said I didn't have no strikes. So I don't understand why I can't go live on my main channel.
Why don't you create your own thing? Like your own, like, not platform, but thing where people can go on, like, something like
What
that.
would the name of it?
It didn't get out.
And you got really. I was gonna change my name to damn Feisty Miller. Cause it depends on what the hell I deal with. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I think I can do it.
I do a lot of stuff.
You cuss up everybody. Ain't nobody know you got said. Not one damn person.
Why not? There's people out here worse than I am. You talking about, like, you saw the pic that we be watching. You see, because why they don't feed that person issue. So
you said 32 cuss words before breakfast.
no, I didn't.
Oh, my bad. It was 45.
No. But if I did, that's because I told you when I tried to. What the hell? I don't even know what the hell this is talking about. Some, hey, don't forget to get $1 once you sign up. Sign up, and what the hell am I gonna do with them dollars? I'm not gonna do the fucking dollar.
Got a fucking ATM machine in the break room.
Cause I know y'all ass gonna buy some. Y'all bitch gonna be giving y'all money days at the fucking page.
All right. Bad enough, damn part of it is partly true because damn when we get these damn checks, we gonna turn around and give some of that money back to them when we do go in that shopping, like in the store.
That's what I just said. Yeah. Cause they know y'all gonna be giving y'all money back to that.
But I'm saying it ain't nothing we can buy the distribution. I mean, besides now, I told you like.
Babe, I know that because all this shit has to be scanned in anyway. I know that. Oh, I know what I can try. Oh, it's definitely gonna put your ass in one. You might as well get ready for that shit. You might as well. This is gonna put us in a whole another fucking tax bracket. Watch. So you might as well get ready. And then if Deshaun he called and if that was an interview for him, yeah.
He talking about he don't even know because he said he tried to call him back earlier. Which I think he said it was around about.
Yeah, he said he couldn't get nobody.
Yeah. I was like they might. I was like them people that work in the front office, like HR stuff, they leave. Sometimes they leave early. Like not just there.
Well, hell, it was after 3 when he called me. Yeah, it was after 3 when he called me. He told me that. I was like, "Father, you should have jumped on that shit yesterday. Why are you gonna wait? You said hollering about a damn job and you want to go, you want to work at Walmart. Why would you wait to do that?"
I guess we fully prepared, but I didn't be really prepared him or show him.
I know what I'm trying to do. It might not even fucking work though. It might not work. I'm trying to find me something to watch. It's so boring. Is that pot still on the stove, babe? Is that pot still on the stove? That pot. It's still on, right? Okay, I'll put my hamburger in there. I'm so mad at you too. Mm. I hate it so bad. Like, what time you laying down tonight? 10 o'clock.
Yes.
Um, what? Yeah. Yeah, it was one day. I said, yeah, it was one day. I need to see if I can find my thing.
Well, you can basically upload
Yeah.
but shit, if they suspect you wouldn't even be able to do that, would you? Yeah,
Shit, I don't know. I ain't never, my channel ain't never been suspended before.
I don't think it's suspended now. I don't know. Somebody didn't. I don't know. Something that's weird. Because you ain't got no strike. They can't.
I ain't got no strike.
They will give you a strike if they gonna suspend your ass and let you know. So why you ain't on that?
What my thing is? It ain't even in here, babe. Yep, I don't know. I ain't had no strike, so I don't know what the hell going on. They talking about I ain't had no strike, so I don't know. I said all that hard work I put in my channel. That's what made people not want to do this damn shit. The hell? How the hell you gonna get somebody to make some money for your ass and you up here that YouTube doing stupid shit like this? And I like saying another thing, I'm not even fucking monetized yet. Like, I don't get it. That's what I be saying. But that video I was telling you about, I wasn't even on 5 fucking minutes. And they talking about damn, they just cut my shit off. Cause I said Harmony, she was in the camera. And they talking about I was violating community guidelines. I'm like, how the fuck did I do that? I didn't even say anything. Let alone do anything. No, I wasn't playing no music. We was outside on the porch. And that's what I don't get.
I don't understand this shit. Damn, sir.
I don't know what my thing got my face. My face broke out.
That's some stuff you want to have. Different type of stuff.
I don't think it was anymore. Because that thing was brand new. I can see if I can go live on StreamYard. White.
Where like
Yeah. Something like that. A little something like that. You remember that thing you bought me? That suction thing? That. But it's in a white box like this. It's a little big. It's a little bigger than this though.
I'm saying, I haven't seen that thing. It ain't been like real recent, but last time I saw it was like over there.
Yeah, I need to get it so I can start back. I think that stuff I was using on my face actually like work. Because I can tell the difference. Well, I think you see the difference too. Who the hell is live? Hmm?
Danny, what did you drink? Well, smoke, steam, and come out with coffee.
There ain't gonna be no steam coming out my coffee cup. It's beer.
I tell you, you worry about over.
What? Why you say that?
You have people doing this shit at work.
Oh well. They were already doing that shit with coffee anyway. They'll spot that shit with some liquor.
You ever tried?
No, because I don't drink liquor. I look mess. I don't give a fuck. Or you could take his ass to sleep.
Bad day.
You hear about that damn
Man, I ain't heard shit.
fool, you ain't let me finish. Fuck. No, for real. That damn CPS worker was telling this little girl down to sell her body to get something to fucking eat. She or he need their ass beat. Now how you supposed to be protecting kids and go out here telling them to do shit like that?
He did.
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah, that's why I watched it. That's why I watched it.
That's what I seen. I just kind of skipped through some of it, but he didn't even see that shit coming. But what the news people said, you know, the news station.
Yeah, he said one of his supporters had sent it to him.
And actually, I was supposed to be typing something in to see if I can actually find that story, see more about it. Like, but
the full video.
Yeah, I mean, was it recorded when he said what he said to her? Because I don't know if he showed that part or not, but he showed.
Yeah, he showed it because when he was talking about, he said one of his subscribers had well, one of his supporters had sent it to him, and from what was told, I guess his supporter was, I guess he or she was telling him about what was going on, like I guess like before he watched it, and basically said like that same CPS worker had been telling that little girl, he or she had been telling that little girl to do that shit like before, so that wasn't the first time. But how it got out like that is because the little girl decided to record the conversation. And that's how it got out. Yeah, he said he don't even know why that video went viral. Oh, here it is right here. Well, it might be the full video. This is through Fox. A year ago, an ex-Sumter daycare worker charged with hitting and throwing a 5-year-old child. Boy, you better hope the damn police get your ass what the fuck I do. Then they be wanting like, why the hell people don't be wanting like the, you know what I'm saying? Like you can't trust everybody. Well, my thing is, just because somebody got credentials or they done went to school for a certain amount of fucking years, I don't know why people be trying to put those type folk on pedestals and shit, because they fucking human just like we.
Not just that, they be
That shit don't make no sense.
they go sometimes, or in a lot of cases, they be the main ones that be doing that crazy shit up there because their credentials and stuff and what they are able to disguise themselves
Right.
with because people like wouldn't expect that from them.
That's what I'm saying. But I mean, but they always try to put people like that on pedestals. Because like I said, all the crazy stuff that goes on, like in them foster homes and them foster daycares and shit like that. Well, I say daycare, but you know what I'm talking about. In them damn buildings, them kids get mistreated all the fucking time. But if you did or said something, even the slightest thing to your damn kid, they gonna try to hurry up, come damn snatch your damn shit. You don't say your children.
So you was asking what time
Yeah. It's only on Fox. They the only ones showing this. I see what he's saying now because he said he don't even know why it ain't viral because hell, it's not. I typed it in and every video is from Fox. Why they keep posting the same video, I don't know. But they the only one. Like I don't even see no content creator that even did a video on this. What the heck? Oh, 4 years ago. Woman who called police on black girl selling water to go to Disneyland comes under fire. That don't make no fucking sense. Why I tell you, it's so much hate in this damn world. Shit sad. But the video, you want to play it? This one right here is 5 minutes.
And welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. Imagine a state worker telling a 14-year-old foster child to sell her body if she wants to eat. That's exactly what a Houston family says a now fired Child Protective Services worker did. The 14-year-old, who is in the custody of the state, recorded the conversation and handed it over to her mother and their attorney. Take a listen.
I want to spend my future to live with some living thing. Because I'm on top. This is going to be a real. I mean, but I'm just old now, so I'm days done. I got a child. I can try to take care.
So, Keisha, when your daughter first told you this CPS, this state worker, told her to go out and prostitute, what did you think?
I guess the video wasn't that long.
I was like really blown away. Like I was really blown away. I was shocked that a state worker that was there supposed to protect children would say something like that to my child. It made me wonder like how many other kids she have told this to. Because if like she could just bluntly come out and say this to my child, this not the first kid she has told this to.
Now, your 14-year-old was there because you needed help with her, right? And so you turned to the state for help.
Correct. And we agreed, me and the CPS agreed for them to take conservative.
You watch that, please.
And
Mike, hearing a story like this, where a state worker kills a child to go out and prostitute to earn money for food, your thoughts on this?
I have the same concern as Keisha, which is, could this possibly be the one and only time this has ever happened? Has anybody ever
No, they said that it happened
hundreds
before.
of girls who've been placed in hotels all across Texas for the last few years by CPS? Do we need to revisit whether they even need to be placed in hotels? That seems like an accident waiting to happen at best.
Absolutely.
So I also hope there's no retaliation against Keisha or her daughter for speaking up. Her daughter has been moved a few times in the last few days, and I hope they're not messing with her. Hopefully there'll be a safe, secure place that's stable, and she won't be exposed to this anymore. But I'm as worried about the systemic issues as her specific case.
And, you know, listening to that state worker and the tone that she had with your daughter, Keisha, and Mike, you can join in on this as well, it almost felt like a damn recruiter.
yeah, that's what I felt like. I felt like trying to recruit girls, young girls, like she trying to be a madam. And that don't sit well with me. You know, that's not the way that you talk to anybody, especially a young teen that's already going through problems, that's already having some issues.
Yeah, I mean, I that kind of groomer overtone, and it also seemed like she knew that she could capitalize on the fact that a lot of these kids are not having their needs met. They're not being fed enough. I know Keisha had to take groceries over to her daughter before this happened.
That's ridiculous, especially when you reach out to the state and the state has agreed to give them the help. Now, what's the status of this worker now, Mike?
So my understanding is that she's no longer with the agency, but I haven't heard anything further than that. I don't know if other workers have been interviewed. I don't know if they have done interviews or welfare checks on these girls. Not only should somebody be talking to them, they need medical exams and everything that goes with this kind of behavior.
Yeah, they need to backtrack on this worker and make contact with every child that she's had contact with to see what she may have told them or what she may have told them to do, as in the case with this 14-year-old. So, Keisha, have you received any type of an apology from CPS or the state for this behavior?
From the commissioner, Miss Jamie, but no, I have not.
Okay. And Mike, obviously you feel like this could be a bigger problem. What do you think state lawmakers need to do in order to get a handle on this situation? There were allegations earlier this year about how CPS children were being treated, foster care children as well.
Well, you make a good point, because what the federal judge overseeing CPS brought up was that these kids were susceptible at the home in Bastrop for being a victim of third-party prostitution or solicitation.
Thank you.
Now it seems like instead of going forward, we're kind of going backwards, and now it's CPS itself or their employees are a part of this. So to answer your question, I'd like someone to tell the legislature what kind of screening procedures they have for those who are working for CPS, those who are going to be around kids.
And we begin tonight with a story that you'll only see here on Fox. An employee with Child Protective Services is caught on camera telling a 14-year-old girl in foster care to become a prostitute.
That's right, and this girl is one of hundreds of kids in CPS custody living in hotels all over the state. Fox 26's Randy Wallace live from Southwest Houston here with this story. Randy, the exclusive.
Yeah, Jonathan. Now, earlier this year, a federal judge scored Child Protective Services for making kids available for prostitution in the CPS system. Now we have a case where an employee with that state agency is actually encouraging prostitution of a 14-year-old child.
Girl, what?
From a parent that told their child to be a prostitute, they should. And they would. Keisha Basley has 9 kids. She turned to Child Protective Services to help her with her 14-year-old daughter, who she says was running away and causing trouble at school.
My daughter told me that the worker had been telling her that she should do these things. So she said she decided to video her.
CPS is housing the girl at a hotel. She's one of dozens in Harris County. In the video, she tells the CPS employee she wants food. The CPS worker tells her to be a prostitute. I mean, she was basically encouraging a 14-year-old girl to become a prostitute.
And giving her an incentive to do so, and almost a threat of not having her needs being met if she didn't do what this woman very explicitly told her to do.
If the parent, was to do something like this to my child, I would be bashed. I would be called a horrible parent. I would lose my kids. Get your tail to the room.
Yeah, Basley filed a formal complaint with CPS.
This should not happen to girls in their care. This should not happen. This is unacceptable.
Hell, let alone they should have no fucking kids in their care.
CPS came to Houston to personally apologize to Basley and her daughter.
I've never seen that happen before, where a commissioner of CPS comes in from Austin just to apologize about something that's horrible that's been done to a child and a parent involved with CPS.
I do not believe that that was genuine. I really don't.
It's bad enough if it's one rogue caseworker. It concerns me that it may be bigger than that, and they need to investigate this and make sure that it's not just one person. And they've got to figure out a way to protect these kids.
CPS sent us the following prepared statement. DFPS is aware of the video and has taken action. The person in the video, who was employed as CPS support staff, was dismissed from her position August 10th. The safety and appropriateness with which children in care must be treated is our paramount concern. Nothing less will be tolerated. Reporting live from the Southwest Side, Randy Wallace, Fox 26 News.
I've been getting paid $1,000 a month, if not more, just from this app on my phone. And I don't know if you...
A Fox 46 investigation tonight out of Marlborough County, South Carolina. A dead man's family accuses a deputy county probate judge of plundering through a dead man's home just hours after he died. Well, the family has accused the judge of taking part in stealing cash, a gun, and other property that belonged to the man, along with impersonating a public official.
Our investigation found the judge had not been sworn in when this happened, but she pretended to be. Security cameras at the home, activated by motion sensors, captured everything we're about to show you. And here's Fox 46 chief
Hold on,
investigator.
wait. Now, why is she going in somebody's house that them passed away in their house stealing? Like, and they just said she wasn't even sworn in yet. So this fool went to school all them years just to go to jail for stealing. Really?
Jody Barr with tonight's final disrespects investigation.
Hollis Slade knew he was in trouble. After weeks of stomach pain, he called 911 for help. Slade was bleeding internally and could not move. His wife, Joyce, was trying to get him help, but she couldn't do much for her husband and stood by helplessly as medics loaded him into an ambulance. Joyce suffers from dementia and can't be left alone. A fireman hung around to make sure she was cared for.
How long have you two been together? A long time?
I can't tell you how many years off the top of my head.
What's the secret?
Just loving each other.
Loving each other.
And he was such a bright, shining difference from when I married a long time. I can't tell you how many years because my memory is
She didn't know it then, but she'd never see her husband again. 1 week shy of his 68th birthday, Hollis Slade was dead. Now, we should probably explain these security cameras. Slade installed them to protect his thousands of dollars in foxhounds and to watch out for his wife when he left home. Nothing moved in Slade's yard without those cameras catching it. The family provided the recordings to us. Within hours of Slade's death, those cameras recorded Matthew Tomlinson's arrival. Hollis Slade had mentored Tomlinson, and he was deeply involved in Slade's hound hobby. A bit later, Tomlinson returned with 3 others, his mother, Charlotte Green, her boyfriend, Ricky Gardner, and their friend, Will Adams. The recordings show Adams making multiple calls to coroners. The recordings don't show why. Adams also worked to find Slade's family members to tell them about the death. The recordings also show the group going in and out of Slade's home.
I don't see nothing on the computer. I got to look through the file. Field trial this. 99%.
And searching his property.
Two-wheel
It says $2 per month. He got a whole truck full of Christmas presents supposed to get. That he ain't opened yet.
The talk soon turns to who might end up with the things that belong to Hollis Slade. The recordings show Will Adams eventually got in touch with an attorney seeking probate information.
I think we got the right people working for us.
And passed that legal advice along to Ricky Gardner and Charlotte Green.
Drug that everything will go to her and assets. That's right, but assets will be here's what Jason's saying, and here's what Parker said. They actually said the same thing, so I reckon that's the way the statute of law is that the oldest sibling.
The recording abruptly ended there. The talk eventually turned to the things they didn't want to leave behind.
It's kind of like you got $2,000 worth of tracking collars sitting in there.
What about all the money in the bank?
Some reason.
What the fuck?
And I ain't stamped.
You heard it.
They in the house now?
They outside in the yard talking, and the man just died. That's why I say, man, shit. People they don't be hitting on shit. You'll see who real family is when somebody die. I always heard it all my life. But, well, of course.
Who fought it for you?
Okay, name somebody, Junior. It was you. So, yeah. That's crazy.
I hate to leave $2,000 worth of tracking collars and $2 sitting there.
This document was on Hollis Slade's computer, showing an accounting of those collars. There were 43 in all. Ricky Gardner's name was listed as the owner of 12 of those collars.
Well, I hate to leave all this.
It's gonna be sad if somebody else comes.
I know he didn't want it to happen. He didn't want it to happen. I know he didn't want it to happen. I heard him say.
This whole room really is about Hollis.
Beth Slade Bowling is Hollis Slade's oldest sister. She found out about her brother's death in one of those calls Will Adams made outside her brother's home. Bowling and her daughter hopped in the car the next morning to make the 12-hour trip from Indiana. Meanwhile, in Marlboro County, Ricky Gardner was the first to arrive the next morning.
They're going to be here. Yeah, they're going to be here. This evening, 8 o'clock or something.
The video showed this was the first time they were alone with Joyce. The camera showed things soon started
they
leaving
taking
the
all
house
kinds of
and
shit
being
out their
loaded
house.
into Ricky Gardner's truck. The recording showed this
No,
continued through the day.
his wife,
Sometime that
she got dementia. She called the ambulance because I guess he was still alive. But when she called, for some reason, like people just like lingering around, and one of them they said was a judge. So the guy came back by himself, and then he left, and then he came back again with 3 other people. And they in there stealing that man's stuff, and he just died. Man, people ain't shit, bro. That's fucked up. Like, how you go? Really, that dude probably ain't been dead 2 minutes, and they ain't now stealing. And they say with his wife suffered from like dementia or something like that. They said so she really don't even know, know what's really going on.
Morning. A woman
They
who
just coming
worked
out with
for the
all kinds
Marlboro
of stuff.
County probate judge at the time showed up. That woman's name is Tammy Bullock.
There she go.
She had once worked with Hollis Slade at a paper mill he helped manage in town. She too did her share in the plundering. These cameras caught parts of conversations where Bullock, like the others, was there hunting for something specific.
We all take it to relevant stuff.
Man, people ain't.
This all happened as Beth Slade Bowling was rushing toward South Carolina from Indiana. The group knew she was coming, and the video showed they had a plan for when she got there. Coming up.
So if anything comes up, we need to let
Girl, that don't mean nothing to my. You should just say it. Talking about she a probate judge. She ain't been sworn in yet. All y'all should be in fucking jail. Say. But somebody like us, like, they'll throw the book at our ass. We do like any type of damn crime. But these people that got all this money, you know what I'm saying? They have like court dates and shit for like stuff they didn't got caught doing, but how many have you seen or you noticed like they all locked the hell up for a crime that they committed? Trust me, it's more regular people like us locked up versus than somebody that actually has money that does crime too. So that's just my point. Well, that's what I was trying to get at. But that's sad. That man probably be there 10 minutes and they ain't never stealing. So she went to school all them years just to go to damn jail. Idiot.
Funeral.
I am figuring out that there are some untrustworthy people in Marlboro County, and I don't know what to do.
Would end up in front of the county sheriff asking for a criminal investigation.
They stole from Mr. Holland.
And the caretaker says the group turned her into a witness.
They were ripping the man off, and he hadn't even got cold.
When our final disrespects investigation continues.
That's what I just said.
The break.
That's what I just said. That man wasn't even gone long enough for somebody to they be stealing from him like that. That is sad. Let me see what else going on. It don't make no sense how people is. People ain't shit. I don't say everybody ain't shit, but.
And we begin tonight with a story that you'll only
watch it already, girl. Relax, bitch. Let's see.
see here on Fox. An employee which.
Let's see. What's new? What is this? 3 weeks ago.
And a tragic update out of Escambia County, Florida tonight. The body of a private investigator missing for more than a month has been found.
Saying that body they found around noon today is believed to be that of Taylor Wright.
Deputies have charged Wright's friend, Ashley MacArthur, with second-degree murder.
What? Private investigator murdered in cold blood and buried on Kula's family farm.
Your wife is she's being arrested this evening and charged with murder.
Ashley MacArthur. She's accused of murdering Pensacola private investigator Taylor Wright.
But I thought it was every 2 weeks.
It is every 2 weeks, but like I said, they must have got paid. They must have got paid last week. So this is Taylor Wright. It was murder.
Oh yeah.
So
back of the head and buried. Do you know where Taylor Wright is? Do you know if Taylor Wright's dead? Did you kill Taylor Wright?
And he said,
So what else did you say about finding her?
She told me they'll never find that bitch. She's gone.
They took your numbers though?
Physical evidence showing you
we're probably doing for the week out then.
anything to do with the death.
he said, so yeah, they get paid on Thursday. So my shit be here on Sunday.
As to the charge in count one, we the jury
No, it
found
might be
defendant
Wednesday.
Ashley MacArthur.
No, ain't that how you get paid the last job?
My last job, I was getting paid on
Thursday or Friday. But you got on Wednesday. Oh.
The only thing they could do was kill her.
You want to say anything? We the jury found the defendant.
Yeah. Tony, go ask your brother to let you use Charger. Yes, I turned to Earl because I can't hear.
Love our Blue Angels.
You go in the room.
World famous for those. It's a great town.
Go use your brother's Charger. You're not.
Like
She done broke this. You know, I just bought this 2 weeks ago. She done broke it already.
Comes up with this nature certainly draws attention.
First name is Taylor. Last name is Wright.
WRIGHT.
Taylor Wright was 33 years old when her body was found.
I don't know what's wrong with folk though.
After she had been
Man,
first
people
reported
crazy, I tell you.
Taylor should have called me. Taylor would have called me, and she didn't.
I
She
gotta
was
find
a
my
former
thing for my
police
face.
officer from South Carolina turned
That don't hurt though,
investigator.
with them little suction
Mother
things
of
on
an
there.
8-year-old son, Taylor moved to Pensacola after a contentious divorce.
I don't know why my
Fell in
face is
love
breaking out like that now. Then you know I'm
We
kind
met
of person where I
on a
don't
online
like
dating app. We were
I
in a
can't touch my
relationship
face when I
for
feel a bump or
a
something
short
right
period
there.
of
I'm
time,
be picking at that junk.
enough time to have sincere feelings and to say that I love this person. And she's told me she loved me back.
Cassandra Waller is a public school administrator.
Yeah.
Soon invited Taylor.
But it
to
don't
move
take
in.
me long to do that. One
She
do
was kind.
afterwards.
She was outgoing.
Definitely,
She
you
would
gonna
give
be
you
at
the shirt
work.
off of her back. She was full of life. She was full of energy. She had all kinds of hope. Had great, big, giant ideas.
But there were issues in Taylor Wright's life. Her new girlfriend suspected she was using drugs and had caught Taylor cheating on her with another woman. And Taylor and her ex-husband, Jeff Wright, were still fighting over their son and their money.
I just know that Taylor didn't feel like it was equal.
In violation of the court orders, Taylor had withdrawn
That's why people don't want to get
$100,000
fucking married.
from a joint account with her ex-husband and asked another of her new Florida friends, Ashley MacArthur, to help her hide the money by putting it in Ashley's bank account. But now the divorce judge had ordered Taylor to show up with the money or face jail.
So the night before Taylor went missing, we went out to eat, and Taylor was just really stressed out. She was talking about how Ashley was holding on to this money,
I wish I
that
could turn the
Taylor
camera
needed
around.
to get it back, and
Yeah,
she felt awkward about it. She felt like something wasn't right.
The next day, Taylor and
Yeah,
Ashley
on my
were set
phone.
to go to a bank in Pensacola to pick up the money Ashley had been holding for her.
And we gave each other a hug and a kiss.
Basically
And
how
at
my
that time, I'm
desktop
walking
was
out of my
over.
driveway. Ashley pulls up.
I have my phone.
I say, "Hey,
flip
Ash,"
the camera around.
and she's
we
like, "Hey,
watch-
Cassandra."
Well,
And
you know, me
I
and my
said, "You guys
school,
have
we
a good
watching
day."
together on my
I
other
got in my
channel
car
that
and I
YouTube
drove away.
just
That was the last time
suspending. I
ever
don't know
saw
why,
Taylor.
but
I've been getting paid $1,000 a month, if not more,
Huh?
just from this app on my phone. And I don't know if you can see this.
you
but
miss your wife.
A few hours.
Ain't I'm her. Really? You tripping?
Hang on, fucking up. That shit was way up there. That's over your head.
Yeah, it went
That
on my
ain't
head,
even
dude.
over your head.
It went on my head.
You gotta look up like that. Like I think I see it, but I don't. Yeah.
Really?
Don't even just leave it
Ashley
alone.
called Cassandra to say
Leave it
that
alone.
instead of going to the bank, she and Taylor had driven out of town to
It
go
is
horseback
hot in here.
riding on a farm in East Milton, owned by Ashley's family.
I was like, "Weren't you guys?"
I want a
supposed to-"
horse.
She
You
goes,
gonna buy me
"Yeah,
one?"
you know, Taylor's really stressed out with the divorce stuff, and she's just been really emotional today. These
No,
are the
you
things
will
that
not.
she's telling me. Tell her everything's fine. Like,
Yeah,
there's,
so
we'll get through this.
Later that night, she got this text message from Taylor's
I
phone.
mean, being in
Saying,
traffic,
I'm sorry, like I'm not doing
Being in
anything
traffic, I thought you
wrong."
went
I started getting
on the back road this morning.
angry and upset because
that's
here
what
we
I'm
were in
saying.
a
I'm saying the traffic
relationship.
was bagged up a lot coming
Probably
back.
like when you going like the Burke and like
Taylor's telling me that she needs
Once
time
that
to
part,
herself
like
and
when
she's
we
not
get
the
to
highway right there.
yeah, well, we
hurt
would
my
make that
feelings.
turn, but instead, you know, going like we did last time, we had to go straight.
Yeah.
That road right there, where the police station is, and all
Yeah.
that, that's what was packed. And then going all the way down that road where it was real bumpy and them potholes and
I
stuff, like
sent
when
her
you going towards
texts.
that
I tried
food
calling
line,
her.
that traffic light right there by
No
the train
responses.
track, that shit was bagged up like hell. But I guess
But
there's
after
so many
more than a
people
week,
getting
what
off
had
the work
begun as a
exit.
third
missing
shift.
persons case for
No,
police soon took on.
well,
I
first
thought
shift.
said
I mean, first shift. Because you
Everyone
know
has
some
you
people.
got third and first.
Certainly Taylor's
If you went in that morning, that mean people
was
they were
certainly
going
on
in
everyone's
first shift,
radar.
and it was also
And
people getting off for third.
Taylor's girlfriend at the time.
No, third shift ain't gonna be. They gonna get off early in the morning.
But very early
But
on,
I ain't talking about in the morning. I'm talking about in
we
the evening
treated
when I
it as
got
if it
off.
were a homicide.
That's first shift getting off.
I know, but I was talking about.
But I'm saying it wasn't
and
bad
Richard
in the morning.
Gigliotti
I said
had
it
just been promoted to detective.
coming home.
The first thing we
Mm-hmm.
did with this case was contacted Cassandra Waller.
There was a time they
I
came
do
to my
listen.
house,
What's
and
wrong with you?
at one point, Detective Gigliotti crawled under my house. So I'm sitting on the front porch with Detective Wilhite bawling my eyes out because this is embarrassing. Why am I being looked at?
My intention right now is not to arrest you for anything. I'm trying to find out why your girlfriend's disappeared.
Girl, 'cause they trying to say you did it. That's why.
Room that they would use to interrogate
Duh.
people.
I'll be
And
back.
it's padded walls. It's a place you don't want to be.
She's in her inner circle. She's her
They wanted
girlfriend,
to
so
lasagna.
she needs to be
I thought we had
pressured
two
as
boxes.
well
One
during the
got
interview to gauge her reaction. See how honest she's being with us. Those questions do got to be asked.
She was dead right now. She would tell us. Did you know
They asked me if I killed Taylor. And
That's what mom, she said, why don't you kill for something? And I said, probably something quick, get some hamburger heifer or something like that. She said, that's what I did. I think it was wrong, fix it. And that's what she did.
Last person known to have seen Taylor White alive.
Yeah. Huh? That pot is on stove. I mean, that pan on stove. It's hot.
Offering suggestions about her.
Go ahead and open the big door, Jane. It's hot.
Here as though she was cooperative, right? And she didn't want to.
Yeah,
deny anything that we asked. She
but
wanted
hamburger
to
taste,
seem
so she paid him some.
Telling the detectives Taylor might just be
She
off
said he's gonna take the hamburger heifer for him to work in the morning.
With the drug situation, like I wouldn't even, if I didn't know about the drug situation, I wouldn't be worried about her. I would say Taylor's doing what Taylor does.
Oh, yeah.
But then that lifestyle,
Come on, Oreo.
a different group of people, which is what I worry about.
Go out there.
And we don't know that she ever had intentions on leaving. Maybe she wanted to have fun, and then someone found her with a.
I'm
bag.
so bad with YouTube, bro.
That's why we.
I am. That's why I keep talking about it. I can't believe they did me like this.
This money was in a safety deposit box of Ashley McArthur's at Wells Fargo.
I ain't
So
do
when
that.
Ashley was asked about
Because the way I was taking it at first, and I seen it was like it trying to make it seem like I had like my daughter on there butt ass naked or some shit like bitch. Like that's my damn daughter. We outside on the damn porch. We went in on 5 minutes. We spending my fucking channel for with.
Taylor's phone made it clear Taylor thought her money was at the Wells Fargo.
All the work I put in on my channel.
talking about meeting at the
It's on
WF.
my mind. Once you start to another one, well, I already got a backup channel, but I don't have no subscribers on that one because I don't get on this.
Check this out.
I got videos and stuff, but I don't get on it.
So let's take a look.
You know what I'm saying?
$178. That was my car insurance, my premium. So policy
Damn it.
premium, $157.38.
Well, yo, I wasn't doing this.
Needing to get there, needing to get the money. Clearly, that was a problem. We spent time driving the route that Ashley McArthur gave us, that they took, looking for surveillance footage.
They found this surveillance tape at a gas station, nowhere near the mill, where Ashley says they stopped to buy Taylor a beer around 10 in the morning.
Have you ever seen her drinking at that time of day before? So, odd behavior.
And in fact, I said something to her. I was like, "You're at this time of the morning." She was like, "We'll try to go out somewhere." I'm like,
"It's a perfect response."
Then Ashley told the detectives.
He probably emptied that part right there, and I know you told him not to do that.
so we just drove out there, and she was just
Yeah, that's what he did.
off steam, I guess, and drinking beer. We were just hanging out.
Hey, that cord hot.
Ashley claims she then drove Taylor back from East Milton to Ashley's home, and that Taylor called an Uber and left.
She was fine. She just said that she wanted to go have a beer.
Harmony, I gotta
She was
unplug
gonna get
this.
an Uber to take her to go have a beer.
Yeah.
What detectives would soon
Cause you about to catch
was
something on
another
fire.
claim from Ashley McArthur that would not.
Girl, your phone just have to die here.
When we contacted Uber, Taylor's
Yeah.
hadn't been used in months.
Yeah, but she gonna be trying to play.
Now, more than a month since Taylor Wright went missing, Cassandra Waller was increasingly desperate to find out what happened to her, pleading for help on Facebook.
Nobody's reached back out to me. I still haven't heard from her. Nobody's heard from her. So I'm calling hospitals in Louisiana, in Mississippi, in Alabama.
And Ashley McArthur is busy calling the detectives, who suggest where Taylor Wright might be hiding.
How are you?
Unaware she had become the prime suspect.
She got back on the cocaine. Do we need to look at alleys, for her? Or?
She's definitely curious on what we're doing and where we're at.
She's definitely fishing for information. But we didn't want to tip her off.
I was just supposed to see if there was any update or anything going on.
And so on a regular basis, she would call me. And I had to, of course, be friendly with her.
I hate to bother you, but I check.
All right, thanks, Ash.
I couldn't answer the phone, Shirley, and say, yeah, so, we'll be arresting you here shortly. You just wait.
The turning point of the case came from the records of cell phone towers, which keep track of which cell phones are nearby.
Your cell phone's always communicating with a cell tower. And these cell phone companies know exactly which tower is communicating.
And the data showed that Ashley's timeline, her alibi, did not check out.
And when we got that information, that's when we really found out, okay, Ashley and Taylor never went out to this East Milton family farm that Ashley was saying they went out to, where they were supposedly riding horses. We knew right away, very big deal.
The tower records instead showed her on that day about 30 miles away in the northwest part of the county.
And what is she doing up there? Detective Alverson and I she had the great idea of, let's check the property appraiser's website. And we typed in Ashley's maiden name, which is Britt, and it popped up. The first property record search found 2201 Britt Road. And lo and behold, it was in the cell phone tower data information that we were receiving. It was right in the middle of all that data. It was a good moment. We're like, okay, we're getting somewhere.
And at that point, were you pretty sure she was the one?
Oh, certainly. Yes, certainly. We had cell towers of her line. We had the bank records, her depositing the money. And we have surveillance footage from banks showing her depositing Taylor Wright's checks. Checks that are signed Taylor Wright, but it's not Taylor Wright's signatures. They're not her handwriting.
But the detectives had to keep a tight lid on their suspicions because Ashley's husband, Zach, was also close to people in law enforcement, a former county sheriff's deputy.
In fact, we didn't tell many people here that Ashley was a suspect in the case because we didn't know what ties she had with people.
Now it was time to bring Ashley back in for what would be a showdown round of questions.
We bring up some things that we don't.
I know the toasting hand.
We knew this was going to be our last interview because at that point we knew all the simultaneous search warrants were going on at her house.
Carney, get off of this. No. Yo, Dave, go put it back on the big toy. Take it out. What?
Detective Bigliotti played the role of the good guy.
Hey? I don't know what happened. What you talking about?
Well, there's a lot. Someone has to play that role. It's fine playing that.
Mario, what do you want?
Flato.
Why are you messing with Oreo? I'm trying to leave you alone, Oreo.
Get over here. Flato. Flato.
Next, Taylor Wright's
Flato
checks.
boy.
What happened at that farm on Britt Road?
Turn the hat.
She seemed to get
You
really
not going?
closed off, I would say. Turning away
think she crosses her arms or legs, if I remember correctly.
Now, remember I said I'm gonna do what?
So you can tell she was definitely uncomfortable at that point.
That phone right there, she got right there, and even charged her. Like, I know my video is going on here. This. I look yellow. I don't see how. My lips dry. It ain't charged. I bet you it's dead, girl.
That's all right.
Did you want mine on this channel?
She had two options. Either
You want mine on here?
place out there
Type for me in chat real quick.
or ask to speak to an attorney and terminate the interview.
Damn, my dick look long as hell.
Detectives had no choice but Ashley MacArthur
Long dick.
Damn. Search at the railroad farm.
Yeah, she's long as hell.
About an hour or two after she walked out of this apartment, I was on the phone with one of the supervisors out on the Britt Road property, and someone yelled in the background that they had a skull. I had no question, and I think either of our minds that this was most certainly going to be Taylor Wright's remains.
And the tragic update out of Escambia County, Florida tonight. The body of a private investigator missing
I
for
said
more
type
than a
something in
month
the
has
chat.
been found.
The body found in a shallow grave at the Redwood family farm, covered with concrete and potting soil.
Say, Zach, your wife is she
I'm probably have to do that off the thing off
in charge with her? What?
because I don't know how to do it off of this.
But Ashley MacArthur had not broken under question, had not confessed to anything. Would there be enough evidence for a jury to
You'll tell my ass when them things.
For the
Ow, my
record,
knee.
we're here on the state of Florida versus Ashley MacArthur. Defendant is present. Counsel, assistant state attorney is present.
And once again, the Law Crime Network has picked a phenomenal trial, Florida versus Ashley MacArthur.
There's cameras here. There's camera over there. There's microphone. This has nothing to do with you. If anyone has to sit up straight, it's me. If anyone has to put on lipstick, it's me.
Wow.
This is a criminal case.
Girl, why you get
Defendant
special
is
privileges
charged
and
with
shit?
first degree premeditated murder. I think I've covered everything. I think of this,
Special
Jensen. I'm
privileges.
going to turn it over to you.
Thank you. What you will see at the end.
Richard Jensen is the chief of the homicide unit in the Escambia County District Attorney's Office.
I think one of the most difficult things to overcome was Ashley herself. She was this very small, very pretty, kind of meek, quiet-spoken female who had never been in trouble. So from the outside looking in, no one would think that she would do something like this. And really what you will see in the end is that Ashley MacArthur had the motive to kill Taylor Wright. Money.
Ain't you right?
She had the opportunity
Yes, you
to
is.
kill Taylor Wright.
You another one.
She did in fact kill Taylor Wright. And then she tried to cover it up.
I wipe my
But to get to
family.
that ending, we have to start at the beginning.
No, in my family,
Taylor Wright withdrew $100,000.
it's a big difference when you got like your family
And
versus
then
your
she was
parents
trying
being
to hide
white.
that money from her ex-husband. And she
No.
also asked her friend,
Well, it
this
is, but
defendant,
they don't
Ashley
know.
McCarthy, to help hide the money. You will see the pressure that Taylor Wright was putting
No,
on
your
Ashley
mama was a white
McCarthy to
lady.
get this money. And the reason that matters
Okay.
is because the money was gone. Ashley McCarthy had spent it.
So that lady, how she took to, so who the hell was that lady?
September 8th,
Because she was white.
2017.
So who, how she take me to?
That Taylor Wright is
No, you wait. Who else she take me to? Okay, but I want to know, why you don't take me that then?
this defendant, Ashley McCarthy, and they were
Not just me, but we had John, he was a baby, and my mom was in the car. Where you take us?
Taylor Wright was never seen alive again.
Represented by a father and son.
Well, no, wasn't nothing outside. They know what's telling them.
Ladies and gentlemen, jury, as you sit through this case, you will see the evidence isn't there. There's
I don't want this shit. I said my own stuff for damn
That's what
green.
I'm trying to make an opening statement. There will be no physical evidence introduced in this trial showing you that Ashley McCarthy had anything to do with death. Taylor Wright. There will be no eyewitness testimony. Introducing the evidence showing you that Ashley McCarthy had anything to do with the death of Taylor Wright. There will be no murder weapon introducing the evidence that has any connection.
Where's my glass water is?
The first witness called by the prosecution was Taylor Wright's ex-husband, Jeff Wright, who briefly been considered a possible suspect.
Were you and Taylor essentially had to clear him. And I think if the jury didn't hear from him, it would be probably a weakness for the state's case. Mr. Wright, did you reach out to Ashley McCarthy on Facebook?
I did.
And did you ask her if she maybe knew where Taylor was?
I did.
And what responses did she give you?
She said that she had last seen Taylor with 2 backpacks, significant amount of money, that Taylor was nervous about the upcoming trial.
The defense used Wright's testimony as an opportunity to raise a question of whether he had to harm Taylor.
She had antagonized a lot of people, and especially over the divorce and money issues with her husband. Fair to say that Taylor Wright was making it very, very difficult for you to get this money back.
That's correct.
But McCarthy's lawyers knew that police had established Jeff Wright's whereabouts hundreds of miles away in North Carolina. They knew better than to outright accuse Jeff Wright of the.
Yeah, we can't lose credibility with the jury. We can't make it so incredible that they don't believe us.
On the second day of the trial, the prosecution called Taylor Wright's girlfriend, Cassandra Wall. She was nervous about making eye contact with Ashley.
Now, do you see Ashley McCarthy in the courtroom today? I do. Can you please point her and identify what she's wearing? She's right here. She's wearing a black outfit. And then I looked at Ashley.
Damn, Bruce popped me.
Ashley never looked at me. Ashley was always looking down at her schoolgirl. Let the record reflect this witness has identified the defendant. During the course of your
You brought the
relationship with
pop.
Taylor Wright, did you ever have an opportunity
What I
to
do?
see her handwriting? Yes. Did she write you letters? Yes. Did she give you cards? Yes. Were you familiar with her handwriting and her signature? Yes. Yeah, I'm sure.
34,000.
26. But what about Taylor Wright's handwriting? That is not Taylor's handwriting.
I don't know. She could be on drugs. I don't know what's going on with her. I know she lost that show she had.
In all the times that you saw,
I don't even know what happened with it, but I know she was saying she was supposed to came back. But
heard, saw anything,
she basically lost that show to that lady that's on there now.
McCarthy was threatening to harm Taylor Wright,
I don't know what's going on with her.
going to cause her any physical harm or anything like that.
Yes, it's another lady. It is her show.
So they just kept her show going, but got somebody else.
Yeah, it was
And she
another
ain't
host.
getting
Yeah.
nothing from it.
I don't know about that, man. I don't know how that works.
As those text messages
Yeah,
show,
they-
call her a liar, call her a drug user. What I was trying to point out is that Taylor had a somewhat volatile life. Going back to
Yeah, it was her show,
late
so.
July,
I did watch that movie.
Indicated to us that
You know, like how she started out or whatever. But I don't know what the hell going on with her. I never even watched the show. I ain't never watched Wendy Williams show. I don't know what the hell.
Mississippi. She was known to use drugs. Just because you don't hear from her on September 8th, 9th doesn't mean she was murdered at that point. That was the point I was trying to make with Cassandra.
Hell, I ain't watched. Oh,
gotta be clear as day that I and the way that they still played the hit that I could have possibly been somebody to the jury, that could have ruined my reputation, my professional career. They'll throw anything and everything out there. That's not okay.
Testimony would show that Ashley came from a solid middle-class family, could often be found in strip clubs and sketchy bars. Her girlfriends and a bartender testified she talked the night before Taylor disappeared about killing with an overdose of cocaine.
Make sure you call the house
Did
when you
Ashley
get
tell you either before, during, or after you went to Dave's what she was going to do with the cocaine?
She said that she was going to put it in Taylor's beer.
What did you hear Ashley say?
That this world would be better if Taylor wasn't here and that she wasn't a good person.
girl, you put cocaine in somebody's drink.
Because one time she said that she's too small to hurt anybody. She just shoot.
And then this, the night Taylor went missing.
Did you ask Ashley what she did with the cocaine?
That she put it in her beer and Taylor spit it out because she said it tasted sour.
Prosecution's case
Oh, they get to the good part because she spit it out and because it didn't taste right then, so how she died?
already spent it on a man with whom she was having an extramarital affair, a bar owner named Brandon Bean.
At some point,
Everybody else
did
did
you
this.
start a sexual relationship? So I was
Not
able
when
to
I think it
trace
said video. I don't know.
$30,000
Hey, look, came down when I asked this.
that Ashley had used
You
by her
can't
boyfriend.
use
Boat. Was she paying the Gulf Power bill at Styx?
She did a couple times.
Was she buying supplies at Sam's Club for her business?
Yes, she did.
In approximately August of 2017, did she buy her motorcycle?
I'm not sure that yes, she did purchase a motorcycle.
A purchase made a few weeks before.
My knee hurts so bad.
How much and how often
My knee hurts.
was Ashley MacArthur spending money on you?
Babe, I gotta go check the food. You want some burnt food?
I'm sorry.
Well, you been eating that by yourself, and I'm just fixing me a kid some else.
And what did she say about
Well,
her
you ain't ate no burnt food, so have it. That's something new for your ass. Ain't it?
insurance company and check this out. Okay. Are you
No,
ready?
that was
So
no
let's
way.
take a look. 170.
Why you throw it away? Man?
I didn't throw nothing away. You can
For with her husband's money or something. And just like this, gone.
Oh, babe, it ain't
So
no
what else did she say about finding her?
She told me they'll never find that bitch. She's gone.
Nah, my cornflakes. Cause I only ate 2 bowls out my box. Yeah, okay. Well, my cornflakes better be still full. And I use one of Harmony bowls at that. It is a threat. Yeah, man. Yeah, we'll go get my milk. My damn cornflake. Nah, I got my other milk, got the holes in it. That's gonna hurt. Cause I'm gonna whip your ass with it. Don't make me go in and check my damn cornflake box.
I got some actual leather just ones that you
My belt is leather too.
You need it. I'm talking about not the way you got
Yeah, that's why I said it's gonna hurt. I whip your ass with it. What up? Can you hold my ass right?
Jan Shackelford urged the lawyers to speak things up.
So what I read
Stop
in the
talking
most
shit.
recent update was alarming.
Making its way through the Atlantic. As you can see, this
I'm trying to watch this.
But prosecutor Bridget Jensen was intent on playing the full 6 hours. 2 police interrogations of Ashley MacArthur.
Your people got to get the freaking garlic bread.
That's important because the jury gets to see Ashley.
Yeah, and I ain't fixed it either. So
I don't believe in those things.
you ruining my video. Let me watch these.
If you looked at the first interview, Ashley was
Nothing.
kind of flirty, maybe a little playful with law
Might not be.
enforcement.
What? You ain't on my line.
At the second interview, her demeanor was so different. I think she knew at that point, you know, she was probably caught. So it was good, I think, for the jury to see that she lied, and
I can't
she
help
got caught
it.
up in her lies and couldn't come up with excuses fast enough.
But
this is a perfect example when you talk to law enforcement too much, whether you're guilty or innocent, it's going to come back and hurt you.
And the father and son team of defense lawyers could use it to challenge much of the other prosecution's evidence too. The gruesome photos of Taylor Wright's body wrapped in a hammock in a shallow grave, a bullet in the back of her head, the testimony about the cell phone that put Ashley McCarthy on the crime scene.
You have the cell phone records, the maps that were put into evidence, cell tower near the Britt Road farm at 12:10 p.m.
Forged signature on Taylor's cashier's check deposit in Ashley McCarthy's bank.
Taylor is missing, and she is still depositing Taylor's money.
And the suspicious text messages from Taylor's phone after she was likely dead. But then a video that the prosecution hoped would help clinch the case gave the defense a surprise opening. Surveillance video from a Home Depot of Ashley McCarthy buying concrete and potting soil the day after Taylor went missing. A store clerk, Devontae Sims, helped her make the purchase.
I was walking through the store and asked if she could help.
What was she looking for?
Type of concrete.
What type of concrete?
She just said she's sorry. Like a fast-hitting concrete.
Sorry.
A fast-hitting concrete.
well, yeah, you can say it.
Then, looking at the crime scene photos, Sims testified the textured rocky concrete on Taylor Wright's body appeared to be different than
That's a big ass bullet hole in her head. Well, the skull on her head.
No. Yes, sorry, dust.
I don't think so. The shotgun. It's a big ass hole in her skull because she ain't had no skin in that.
You know, and I'm sure
On her bones.
he said the concrete that this MacArthur bought was very fine like dust. The concrete on top of Taylor Wright's body was very heavily rubbed. You could see rocks, and it was not fine like dust.
But then, the defense set out to prove in its case that Ashley McCarthy would not have been able to lift a 50-pound bag of concrete or even Taylor Wright's body because of a back injury she suffered 8 years earlier. Her mother, Rhonda,
You see her ever lift any heavy objects?
No, she tried not to because it hurt her back.
Have you ever seen her lift anything like a 50-pound concrete bag or anything that heavy?
No.
And is that to this day?
Yes.
I think it definitely was hard to picture how this little girl could move a dead body. But at the same time, Taylor was not a big girl either. I think where there's a will, there's a way.
I've been getting paid $1,000 a month, if not more, just from this album. And I don't know if you can see this, but it's called Audible. Okay, so I'm going to show you right here. I have a check from Audible. This is for $1,100. This one's for $1,100 again, and then this one is $1,200. Every month, I am getting paid by Audible. For those of you that don't know what Audible is, it's actually a child company of Amazon, which is one of the largest marketplaces in the world. So Audible is where people normally
and make them.
The defense case rested mostly on the fact there was only circumstantial evidence, no fingerprints, no DNA tying Ashley McCarthy.
I ain't got no subs on this channel.
When you were here, you were the lead investigator for the Escambia County Sheriff's Department on this investigation. Is that correct? As far as physical evidence or forensic evidence, you never found any physical or forensic or trace evidence that linked Ashley McCarthy to the homicide.
I did not know, sir.
It is the state's job to give you everything. The good, the bad, the ugly. And you heard some very unflattering information about Taylor Ray.
My neck is
And you may not
long.
like some of what you heard.
Bang on my neck
Taylor
with
Ray.
that long.
But in this trial, she is the victim. So let's not forget that she was a 33-year-old mother of a child. And she was a human being. And our laws in the great state of Florida do not classify human beings. So her life means no less than anyone else's. And this woman sat there hour after hour in those interviews you saw her, calm, cool, collected, not one ounce of sadness or concern or worry for her friend that was missing. She was so forthcoming about all the bad things that Taylor did. But you know what she wasn't forthcoming about?
They were doing this
Just abundance of Taylor's money that
and
she
they
made.
was doing a trial that trial of that boy that shot that school up.
Because she
in
sat
Florida.
there giggling and laughing and joking with law enforcement.
But they're not done though.
She knew that Taylor was out there.
I'm pretty sure it's for more, but and then R. Kelly, so
And that's where she tried to cover
this
up her
trial or
money.
whatever.
Ladies and gentlemen,
So far, this is the only
MacArthur had the
3 that I know like right off here.
Ashley MacArthur had the opportunity. Ashley MacArthur murdered Taylor Wright. And then she tried to cover it up.
I can't do what I want, even if I do want to start over. I can't do what I want on this computer. This stupid computer.
Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen,
Yeah, I
I'm
can't
gonna turn it over
download
to Mr.
it.
Barry Barasa.
We're here about a murder case, the most serious crime you could be charged. She is not charged with stealing any money. She's not charged with lying. She's not charged with being unfaithful. She's not on trial.
What is you talking about? It's so many women that done that. What you talking about? Oh, Casey Anthony.
They don't have any physical evidence.
Kick her ass out.
There's
That's
no
what
DNA
she is.
linking Miss MacArthur
The
to
hell?
Taylor Wright's death. There's no trace of scientific evidence linking her. You see it enough on television. You see what happens when somebody's traumatized. If they've done something, if they killed somebody, or if they've seen somebody kill somebody, you just don't turn that on and off. There's nothing to indicate anything in her demeanor. Through these videos that they've got, that they put in, or her clothing or her dishevelment, that indicates that she was killing somebody, dragging somebody's body around. There's nothing there. And that's strong evidence, physical evidence that you can see, not something the state is suggesting. Here's the kicker. Now,
Bro, you already sound well.
have
You ain't got no
she
case.
put one of them up on the screen, a big one, and you saw the concrete. That concrete was rough concrete. It is not the concrete that she purchased. When
He
you
ain't got no
consider the
case, but
evidence
he gotta
the burden
try
the
to
state
fight.
has,
You know what I'm saying? Because that's his
I ask you to
how
do
you
your
what
duty
you
in
say?
this
How you
case
say it?
because there is a reasonable doubt, and I ask you to return a verdict of not guilty. of
Yeah,
Miss
it's
MacArthur.
fine. So yeah, but he already know he ain't got no damn case. He ain't making no fucking sense.
All right, we're back on the record. State of Florida versus Ashley MacArthur. My understanding is we have a verdict.
Yeah, he trying, but it ain't working. He retarded.
They were out, I think, 4 hours, and you never know. You never know.
That seems like an eternity while you're waiting. It's 12 people. You know, it only takes one person to find a hole that, you know, that they don't think she's guilty.
Let me talk to everybody in the audience. Somebody out there is going to be unhappy. I don't know what the verdict is. I know there's some family members and friends for Ms. MacArthur, and presume that there are family members and friends for Taylor Wright.
I was in the courtroom room. I am like 2 pews right behind Ashley.
Kellogg really prepared me to be a multifaceted leader. I studied marketing, I studied finance, international business, and strategy, but the creativity, the emotional connection.
So the jury came in and there was a lot of unknown. What's going to happen? What's going to be said?
Oh, I remember
This
her.
judge, she
That made a
talked
movie about
making
this
sure
girl
that
right
everybody
here.
was going to control their emotions.
Well, actually, it was
when
a
the verdict
Lifetime
was
movie.
read.
And it was a good one. Too.
And I was afraid. I had no clue what was going to happen at all.
I can't remember the name of it,
able to reach
but they made a movie about that girl.
Okay, all I want you to do is to hand it to court security, okay? I'm gonna hand it to the clerk to publish.
In the Circuit Court in and for Escambia County, Florida, State of Florida versus Ashley Britt MacArthur, case number
You're going to jail.
1717CF0058444A. Verdict as to the charge in count one, we the jury find the defendant Ashley MacArthur guilty of first-degree premeditated murder with a firearm as charged in the indictment.
Girl, don't cry now. You shouldn't have did it.
David A. Faust, or person dated August 30th, 2019.
So I was trying to fight back all the tears and all the emotions and everything that.
Come on, why you got my tape? Yeah, they did a movie about her. I didn't see if I could search it up. He hurt. So bad. Feel better in here now? Well, you know I'll turn it off because I can't hear.
That's at Piquet, New York, on the south shore of Long Island. Marinas, beach clubs, upscale homes. May 19th, 1992 was a warm spring day in the quiet neighborhood of Biltmore Shores.
I remember it every day of my life. The smell of the grass, and the day was sunny and nice. It was a regular day, just like every other day. It was Tuesday.
37-year-old Mary Jo Buttafuoco decided to spend the day painting some benches in the backyard of her waterfront home. Her husband Joey had already left for work at his family's thriving body shop. The couple's 2 children were off at school. Mary Jo had been painting for only a short time when the doorbell rang.
And I could see this young girl standing there. And she said, "Are you Mrs. Buttafuoco?" And I said, "Yeah." She says, "Well, can you come out here for a minute? I need to talk to you about your husband, Joey." I think, all right, she knows Joey.
The Long Island housewife walked outside and stood only a few feet from the teenage girl.
And that's when she said to me, "I'm here to tell you that your husband is having an affair with my little sister."
What?
And I did this. I said, "Yeah," like that. She says, "Yes." I said, "Well, who are you?" "Well, my name's Anne Marie." "Anne Marie. Do you know Joey?" "Yeah, I do. I've had work done, at the shop."
Mary Jo didn't believe the teenager.
And then she said she had proof. And then she handed me a complete auto body T-shirt, which half of Long Island owns because that's what they do. They give out T-shirts to customers. So I said, "Well, what do you mean?" "Oh, I found this in my sister's bed." So I said, "Well, I'll go in. I'll give Joey a call, tell him you came by. Thanks a lot." And I kind of thought to myself, this girl's nuts. And I turned my head and I opened the door. And that was the last part of my life as I knew it for 37 years. I felt an explosion inside of my head. I never saw the gun. I remember the force pulled me back. I remember hitting the ground, but it didn't hurt. And I tried to roll over, and I couldn't move. And then then I went out. That was the end. That was the last thing.
The teenager ran to a waiting maroon car and sped off. The Long Island housewife was left for dead in a pool of blood. When police arrived, they found live ammunition scattered on the front walk and in the garden, and a spent casing from a bullet. The Long Island housewife held the key to tracking down her attacker, but police would have to wait to see if she survived.
Well, you took on.
The next thing I remember was a nurse standing over me. I heard her say to me, "You've been shot, Mary Jo."
There you go.
And I remember going,
Now I made a
shot?
piece of picture.
"I was shot?"
A bullet was lodged in her neck. She was paralyzed on the right side of her face and deaf in her right ear.
Yeah, that's what I made
The bullet
out
had
of
barely missed her brain and spinal cord. The next day, Mary Jo gave detectives a detailed description of the shooter. She also told investigators about the T-shirt the teenager had shown her as supposed proof that her husband was having an affair.
It was when she tells me this T-shirt that there was a reaction from Joe Buttafuoco, and he was standing next to the bed at the time of this interview. And Joe backed up and he says, "I know who this is." When I said, "Joe, who is this girl with the autobody T-shirt?" He says, "It's Amy." I says, "Amy who?" He said, "Mr. Fisher's daughter."
Waffle out strawberries.
As 37-year-old Mary Jo Buttafuoco recovered from the shooting, Long Island police were trying to track down the teenage girl who nearly took her life. The Long Island housewife said that her attacker had shown her a T-shirt from her husband's body shop, claimed it was evidence that he was having an affair. Joe Buttafuoco told police he suspected the girl was 17-year-old.
Do you serve that?
He said that Amy and her father were regular customers at the body shop.
You don't?
And the only T-shirt he had
Can you make the exception?
was
Can
to
you
Amy.
fix it for me?
Advised me,
Okay.
not only physical, streets.
I'm right up.
He provides me with a phone number for a home and also a detail home that she has. It's during that conversation, we also released as photographs back at the body shop. He said that Amy had given him this school.
Mary Jo demanded to know more.
The goddamn ads.
Hello.
I need an e-commerce platform that will let me grow my business.
Who is this person? And he said she's been down to the shop a number of times. I said, well, why would she do this? And he was, I don't know.
Amy Fisher lived on a quiet street in nearby Long Island with their parents. Detectives had Joe Buttafuoco meet the teenager so they could track down
So what now? My chicken and broccoli casserole. Okay, I'll wait. Harmon, what have girls say tomorrow? You want to paint your toes, your nails, paint your nails.
And also my toys too.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah. Also my penguin.
Yeah, that's what I said. Paint your fingernails and your toenails. I
She
do mine
responded
too.
immediately to his page. He asked her where she was. She said she was in her house. Walls were made for the moments after she left the house, drove down her block, and stopped a short distance away, and was brought into the homicide squad. That's the first time. That evening, Amy Fisher was arrested for attempted murder and held overnight at the Nassau County Police Department. At first, she would deny it, but not for long. At the time of the shooting, Amy was a high school senior and planned on attending college the following year. She had dreams of one day becoming a fashion designer. The Long Island teenager had her own black Chrysler convertible, designer clothes, and wore a beaver to high school. But the apparently happy young woman had a childhood plagued with sadness and depression. In a book that Amy would later co-author about her life and her crime, she talked about a verbally abusive relationship with her father, that she was afraid of him, and that he frequently hit her. She claimed she was sexually molested as a child by a family member whom she wouldn't identify. She also said she was raped in her bedroom by a home repairman when she was 13. Amy's mother backed up her daughter's claims of rape and abuse, though none was ever reported to police. Amy's pain and loneliness would follow her into her high school years and eventually lead her to a dangerous obsession with a married man. It took a full night of questioning by Nassau County Police to get Amy Fisher to tell her story, and then sign a written confession. Investigators told the teenager that Mary Jo had identified her as the shooter from a photograph Amy had given to Joey.
It wasn't until I showed her the photograph that I saw her demeanor change. There was now some confusion. The fact that Joe may have given her up. In fact, Joe would have led the police to her. It was shortly after that the first admissions about her participation came out.
Amy told investigators that when she confronted Mary Jo on the day of the shooting, she thought the woman was dismissing her allegations that her husband was having an affair. And she said that made her angry.
I was very upset. And she turned to walk away from me. And the gun was about this big and it was in my pocket and I was just holding it. And the first reaction I had was to hit her. I was so mad. And not realizing the gun was there, I hit her with it and it went off. And I just remember we fell off the stairs. She was on top of me. And I just remember hearing a pop, seeing blood everywhere. And it was horrifying. And I just panicked and ran away.
The man who had sold Amy the gun was waiting for her in his car across the street. After the two fled the scene, the man dumped the gun and the t-shirt down a sewer near the teenager's home. Amy also explained to detectives it was she who was having an affair with Mary Jo's husband. She told police she met Joe Buttafuoco at his body shop. From there, she said, the friendship had escalated to a sexual relationship. And she told police Buttafuoco knew about her plans to shoot his wife.
For months, all he talks about was how much he hated his wife and he wanted to get rid of her and he wanted to kill her. Through the months, things were working. Basically, in the beginning of May, I talked about killing Joey's wife with Joey. I brought up the topic, I can get a gun. In a matter of 5-6 days, we went from getting a gun to me being on the doorstep.
Amy said she had gone to the Buttafuoco home intending to kill Mary Jo.
It's made out of strawberries.
She insisted that when the gun discharged, it was an accident.
Also some chicken and it somehow. And then I went soup. Very
She planned this. This was a cold-blooded murder.
I want to eat my food.
The only mistake that she made was I didn't
What
die.
else you want me to order? What else you want me
When
to
Joe
order?
Buttafuoco was questioned by authorities, he vehemently denied any involvement in the
fried
shooting or any knowledge of Amy's murder plan.
You mean
He would later also deny ever having
fried
any
chicken.
sexual relationship with the teenager.
I asked him,
Why?
why? Did you have an affair with her? He said, absolutely not. And I would lay in the bed, I had a lot of long hours to recover, and I think, why would this girl do this? Why not? I mean, it would only make sense that
Having a good night's sleep is the
Yeah.
most critical.
they must have had something to do with each other. But then when the lies started coming out about me, when I heard her say that I yelled at her and I screamed at her and I cursed her out and we fought over the gun, and I realized she's a liar.
Did you do it? Amy, how long did you know?
3 days after the shooting, Amy Fisher was arraigned on attempted murder charges. Bail was later set at $2 million,
Here,
the
eat
highest in the
here.
history of Nassau County law.
Can you take that? I put them in
An
the
attorney
car.
was able to raise the bail money by selling Amy's
Now,
story to a
what
movie
else do
production
you want me to order again?
More revelations were now coming out about the Long Island teenager. A syndicated television show broadcast an explicit videotape purporting to show Fisher
I don't know, I'm full
getting
now.
into bed with a client from the escort service where she worked.
I want it myself.
Investigators would later confirm that Amy did indeed lead a secret life as a prostitute.
Before I met Joey, I was just fine. I was a typical high school girl. I had friends. I had everything.
Long Island police were uncovering more details about 17-year-old Amy Fisher and her motive in the near-fatal shooting of Mary Jo Buttafuoco. Police concluded that Amy was so obsessed with her alleged lover, Mary Jo's husband, that she wanted to be with him at all costs.
Based on what she tells us, she was in love with Joe Buttafuoco, and it was because of that love that she went to that house that day to carry out that act that she could actually do with Joe or just not with Joe. She could have Joe if Mary Jo was out of the way.
But how did the Long Island teenager become obsessed with a man twice her age? Amy claimed it began when she met Joe Buttafuoco at his body shop in May 1991, 1 year before the shooting, when she was 16 years old. Amy saw the auto body repairman on several occasions when she brought her car in for repairs. In the beginning, she said they were only friends, but their relationship quickly changed. About a month later, Amy said that Joe drove her home from the body shop on a day when her parents were at work. She said it was in her bedroom where the two had sex for the first time. After their first sexual encounter, Amy claimed she was in love.
I can't make soup by myself.
The Long Island teenager said that she and Buttafuoco began to go on dates. that he would take her to motels where they had sex, out on his boat, nicknamed Double Trouble, and to fancy restaurants.
She met somebody who had designs on her, somebody that was 20 years her senior. I guess it was because of that vulnerability, that short period of time where a 16-year-old girl gets fancied by a man who drives fancy cars, who has wads of bills to pleasure on. He could show you a good time. She got hooked.
Amy said that for the first time in her life, she felt loved.
What you do with your head? You ate it?
She also said that her alleged lover had become the father figure she never had. She claimed she would have done anything to be with Joey and didn't want to live without him.
What Joey wanted, Joey's desires, I fulfilled them. Whatever he wanted, I did. I loved him so much.
And while Buttafuoco would later deny it, Amy claimed that he got her involved in prostitution. She said he convinced her she could make a lot of money for herself.
But there are a lot of reasons, but one of the major factors was Joey wanted me to. His own sexual pleasures from it in his mind. He liked hearing about other men. I thought it would be exciting.
By November 1991, 4 months after their sexual relationship allegedly began, Amy said she gave Joe an ultimatum. If he didn't leave his wife, she didn't want to see him anymore. She claimed she ended their affair, but because she was so distraught, she tried to kill herself. Amy's mother came home and found her daughter in the bathroom, her wrists slashed with a razor.
Give some kind of statement about what happened?
1 month later, Amy said she reconciled with Buttafuoco. But as winter turned to spring, Amy Fisher claimed her life was spinning out of control, and that her uncontrollable obsession was leading her to the doorstep of Mary Jo Buttafuoco's house on that fateful day in May. 4 months after she shot Mary Jo Buttafuoco in the head, Amy Fisher agreed to a plea bargain with prosecutors. She pled guilty to a reduced charge of reckless assault, avoiding the likelihood of a lengthy and lurid trial, and a longer prison sentence.
Amy Fisher, do you now withdraw the McAfee plea?
Yes.
Yes.
New from Nutrisystem, lose weight eating our biggest, heartiest, and most satisfying meals ever. Introducing Hearty Inspirations, all-in-one dinners with sides included. They're packed with up to 30 grams of protein to keep you feeling full longer while you lose weight, and they taste amazing.
The extra protein gives you a ton of energy. The veggies, the meats, it's all done for you.
Hearty Inspirations are pre-cut and pre-portioned. Just heat in your skillet or microwave and enjoy a healthy dinner in minutes. Lose weight, stress less, and skip those extra trips to the grocery store with meals delivered right to your door. Start today for 50.
Guilty.
Fisher detailed to the judge what happened on the day of the shooting.
I went up to her doorstep with a loaded gun in my pocket. I proceeded to talk to Mrs. Buttafuoco. She turned around to walk away. I hit her on the back of the head. I went to hit her again, and the gun went off.
Amy had earlier told police that the woman had made her angry when she dismissed her allegations about the affair. She now added that she was having a flashback to painful memories of childhood and had violently lashed out.
I think there's a lot of anger. I think there's a lot of jealousy. I think there's a lot of love, misplaced love on her part. A lot of different emotions that went into making this kid do what she did.
After Amy had pled guilty, the spotlight turned to her alleged lover. Did Joe Buttafuoco conspire with Fisher to kill his wife? And what was the extent of his relationship with the teenager? Investigators uncovered numerous motel receipts, allegedly signed by Joe Buttafuoco. Motels where Fisher insisted she and the 36-year-old
had sex. She said they would go to a specific motel. When I went to that motel to investigate, I found registration cards signed by Joe Buttafuoco in his name. And basically these cards corroborated the statements that Amy made about the different locations.
Amy also told police she had sex with Buttafuoco in an apartment above his body shop and on his 31-foot powerboat. Now police were investigating Joe Buttafuoco for 2 possible crimes: conspiracy to commit murder and statutory rape, which in New York is having sex with anyone under the age of 17. Amy's alleged affair with Joe began 6 weeks shy of her 17th birthday. Throughout the investigation, Mary Jo Buttafuoco stood by her husband and refused to believe he ever had a sexual relationship with Amy Fisher.
This girl is an attempted murderer, a liar, a prostitute, and the DA is accepting her statement that she and Joe were together. Something's wrong here. Something's real wrong.
Then, just as investigators were building their case against Buttafuoco, Amy Fisher made a critical mistake that undermined her credibility. While she was out on bail pending her sentencing, a television program secretly taped Amy telling a boyfriend about how she deserved a Ferrari for all of her pain and suffering, showing no apparent remorse for her crime.
All the time it was a joke. It was said with somebody that I cared deeply for, and it didn't mean anything.
But it meant something to prosecutors, who announced they would not file any charges against Joe Buttafuoco, either for conspiracy to commit murder or a statutory rape. Based on Amy's erratic behavior while she was out on bail, including 2 more suicide attempts, they determined she would not be a credible witness.
No one can ever comprehend the pressure that is placed on an individual and his family when his family is being investigated. At this time, I just would like to thank the District Attorney's Office for their decision in this case.
We were never able to prove, nor do I believe it was true, that he purposely set her up to kill his wife. I think he may have inadvertently encouraged her by the discussions they were having about loving her and maybe not loving his wife. But I don't think that he had any intent of Amy going there and shooting her.
On December 1st, 1992, Amy Fisher was back in the Long Island courtroom to be sentenced.
I ask that this court recommend that she serve at least 7.5 years.
First, Mary Jo Buttafuoco was given the opportunity to face the teenager who nearly took her life.
The bullet is still lodged in the base of my brain and causes me constant pain and suffering. And if there is any unnatural movement of the bullet, I am faced with paralysis and perhaps even death. My 2 beautiful children are having a difficult time leaving me alone. They are afraid I might not be there when they get home from school. All this damage by someone who still shows absolutely no remorse for her actions.
Amy Fisher also addressed the court before her sentence was handed down.
Your Honor, the truth is, I did something that was so awful and I wish I could take it back. It's also the truth. I had an affair with a married man. It's also the truth that Joey knew of my intentions towards his wife and he encouraged me. These things, Your Honor, they are all true. They are facts. And I cannot and will not take them back for the sake of harmony.
Motivated by lust and passion, you are a walking stick of dynamite with a fused lip. For some people, you have become.
I want everybody out there to have a great time in the kitchen while they're cooking.
At HSN.com, it's never been easier to go from kitchen novice to kitchen pro, just like Chef Wolfgang. Discover all of his online cooking demos to help you create delicious, easy-to-make meals.
I'm going to show you how to make a quick sauce.
And we have all the tools you need to cook with confidence.
Voilà.
Hit the
I'm a media celebrity with a book, TV series, future movies, and countless reams of newspaper and magazine articles. But to this court, you are no celebrity. In the eyes of this court, you are a tragedy and disgrace to yourself, to your family, to your friends, and to society. You don't know that.
The Long Island teenager who made newspaper headlines worldwide was sentenced to 5 to 15 years in prison.
Amy Fisher is a liar.
Outside the courtroom, Joe Buttafuoco repeated his denials of ever having a sexual relationship with Amy Fisher.
Boy,
I know
we all know you did.
She knows she's a liar. And now the public knows that she's a liar. The DA didn't even believe her.
How she know where to go?
Words cannot
How's she
express
lying?
what I have to say.
Boy, shut your
But while
cheating ass up.
prosecutors stated publicly that the case against Joe Buttafuoco was closed, they still suspected the auto body repairman really did have an illegal sexual relationship with a teenager. But they
Dang,
needed some
girl.
proof.
But we let the case die down a little bit. And ultimately,
Okay,
it worked
wait.
out because Buttafuoco wound up putting his foot in his mouth, going on television and making false statements. The people he had working for him, who he was bragging about the relationship he was having with Amy, they were so incensed at him going on TV and denying this and making himself out to be such a good family man that, they finally came forward. We weren't able to really get a strong case relying on Amy Fisher. We needed more evidence. And he provided that evidence against himself.
Hey, jackass.
In April 1993, Buttafuoco was indicted on statutory rape charges for having sex with Amy Fisher several times before her 17th birthday, the legal age of consent.
Not guilty.
Lies.
Amy Fisher, who was already serving her prison term, had insisted to police she was having an affair with Buttafuoco.
We uncovered a lot about their relationship. It was amazing. It's just amazing. Here's a young girl who's living at home with her parents, and a guy who's living at home with his wife and 2 kids, and how much time they were able to spend together without either family knowing about it. It was just incredible. Her friends saw them together. His friends saw them together.
Prosecutors claimed they had damaging evidence against Buttafuoco, including signed motel receipts and incriminating statements from employees at his body shop.
At the time, when they're really going after
Kwame, what is you doing, child?
you get to a point where you give up. And they were going after him not for conspiracy to murder, not for anything really, really bad. They were going after whether or not he had sex with her while she was still 16. And we said, what are we fighting for? Everybody had sex with Amy Fisher. She was a working hooker.
So Joe Buttafuoco agreed to a plea bargain with prosecutors, pleading guilty to 1 count of statutory rape.
Joseph Buttafuoco, do you now wish to withdraw your not guilty plea and now plead guilty to rape in the 3rd degree? That's a Class E felony. How do you plead to that charge? You will plead or not guilty?
The 37-year-old auto body repairman stood before a judge and the world and admitted what he'd been denying for more than a year.
On July 2nd, 1991, I had sexual relations with Amy Fisher at the Freeport Motel.
But you said
Despite
you didn't know.
Buttafuoco's admission of guilt,
With
his
your
wife
lying
stood by
ass.
him.
He wasn't her lover.
Oh, my knee.
It was never a love affair.
I don't think that the relationship was a loving relationship. He admitted publicly when he took the plea that he had sex with her. I think if he did in fact have sex with her, it was strictly a sexual relationship, not any lover.
1 month later, Buttafuoco returned to the Nassau County Courthouse in a Rolls-Royce limo for his sentencing.
Show it to the other book.
Dressed in a navy suit and his signature snakeskin cowboy boots, he pushed his way through a crowd of spectators, reporters, and newscasts.
His looks created a situation where people thought he was arrogant. Snakeskin boots, people resented. They resented the fact that a married man could possibly be having relations with a 17-year-old girl. He became the man you love to hate. He's really not a hateful person.
604 People versus Joseph Buttafuoco for sentence. Step up, please.
19-year-old Amy Fisher was transported from her New York prison cell for the sentencing.
We buy any car. We buy any car. We buy any car. Penny.
Did you know trading in your car at a dealer could cost you money? A recent study found consumers who trade in their car pay an average of $990 more. So don't trade in, sell it to We Buy Any Car. Learn more and get your free online valuation now at WeBuyAnyCar.com.
Find out how much your car's worth at We Buy Any Car.
Through my online store alone, we've sold over $500,000 worth of spices. That's so crazy.
Culinary sales have grown 535% in the last year. With such rapid growth, I rely on Wix Analytics to make smart business decisions.
As I grew, I started to use more features of Wix, adding in the tracking, printing labels, the shipping.
Everything in the store, all of our inventory is now integrated to our website. So once it sells on the website, inventory comes right off, which is great. Week over week, we're probably growing online 30%.
I take pictures of the products. I post it on social media. I go on my Wix app. So I just released 200 sets of the cooking utensils and sold them in about 2.5 minutes.
This email campaign alone generated 612 orders and $40K in revenue.
Now with the new SEO, we're able to reach customers everywhere.
First started Colin Canary in my kitchen 6.5 years ago. I never would have dreamed that it would be even as big as it is today.
Because this happened so quickly, I am living a dream I didn't even know I had.
And was brought face to face with her alleged former lover. Sitting only a few feet away, the Long Island teenager was given the opportunity to confront Buttafuoco before he was sentenced.
I was a 16-year-old teenager trying to roll those company for a robbery while I was spending basketball. This man took me to expensive restaurants and treated himself. I'm sad to say that he told me how much he spent on himself to deceive my parents. I know from my heart that if Mr. Buttafuoco had been crossed the bridge between adolescence and adulthood and not arrested, I would not be here today.
Amy Fisher took a gun and on the steps of the house where the Buttafuoco family lives, pointed a gun and shot his wife in the head. Is she this sweet, innocent little person that big, bad Mr. Buttafuoco took advantage of?
Buttafuoco's lawyer pleaded with the judge not to send his client to jail.
He says to you, through me, I am sorry. I made a mistake. How is he to know if he made a mistake in his life that a woman who clearly has problems, well, not obvious, would someday shoot his wife?
But the judge was unmoved. He handed down the maximum penalty allowed under the plea agreement. 6 months in the county jail.
He received a sentence of 6 months for having sex with a girl under the age of consent by 21 days. You're going to tell me that there's a difference between that girl from the July 2nd or 21 days later when she was able to give consent, that this man should have received a sentence for 6 months?
Joe Buttafuoco was led away in handcuffs to begin serving his sentence immediately.
It had such a devastating impact on two complete families. And not only the defendant, Amy Fisher, and the victim, Mrs. Buttafuoco, but her husband then became a defendant and now a convicted felon. Amy Fisher's parents, they split up. I'm sure their lives would never be the same. It's just such a tragedy. Wow, it's so senseless, so unnecessary.
It was hell. It was hell on earth. Joey and I look back and we wonder how we ever survived it. Day after day, week after week, month after month. And really the only thing that happened is that I opened my front door one beautiful morning in May.
In a case where a teenager may have been obsessed with her alleged lover, so too was the media with the Amy Fisher story.
I think it was grossly overblown. It took on a life of its own. There were days when this case was on court where you literally couldn't get your foot on those. The media became the story. It was no longer a criminal case, but the coverage itself became that. I never saw anything like it.
The Amy Fisher case spawned 3 made-for-TV movies, at least 2 books, and was an endless source of jokes for late-night television.
These people who think they're funny don't realize that a woman by the name of was almost murdered. They forget that. And they forget that the person they're making fun of is my husband, the man that I love.
At age 18, Amy Fisher began serving her sentence
Oh,
at the
shit, my
Albion
cigarette.
Correctional Facility in upstate New York. Several prison guards and abused and harassed by other corrections officers. At a federal hearing in Buffalo, New York, Amy Fisher offered proof that she'd been raped. Her attorney said that Amy's mother had smuggled her daughter's underwear out of the prison after a visit, and that it had tested positive for semen at a DNA laboratory. Amy's attorney claimed that his client was in danger if she was not transferred immediately to another prison. Prison officials dismissed Amy's charges of rape and abuse and said that the inmate was not credible.
They claimed she was just trying to get moved to a prison closer to her Long Island home. It appeared that prison life had taken its toll on Amy Fisher. At her sentencing in December 1992, the teenager had seemed timid and frightened. After 4 years in prison, the pale and thin 22-year-old appeared hardened and bitter.
Amy, are you any more or less confident after today's hearing about your chances of being transferred?
I don't care about being.
Amy's parents had divorced soon after she went to prison, and her mother remained the only source of love and support in her life. In an interview in July 1996, Amy said that she didn't have many friends in prison, and that her mother was one of the few people who ever came to visit her. In December 1998, Fisher, seeking to have her original guilty plea withdrawn, filed charges against her attorney, Eric Nyberg. She claimed Nyberg had lied to her during the 1992 trial, and that the two of them were involved in a sexual relationship at the time. Nyberg has denied the charges. In April 1999, Judge Ira Wexner granted Fisher's petition. While nothing has come of the allegations of sexual misconduct, the judge vacated Fisher's original plea on grounds of ineffective counsel. In return, Fisher pleaded guilty to the same charge. Mary Jo Buttafuoco again testified prior to the sentencing, but this time Mrs. Buttafuoco testified on Fisher's behalf. The two women had begun corresponding several months earlier. Now, Mrs. Buttafuoco told the court that she had forgiven Fisher and that she believed the young woman should be given a second chance. Judge Wexner handed down a reduced sentence of 3.5 to 10.5 years, which immediately qualified Fisher for parole. She was granted her freedom on May 6, 1999. 4 days later, after nearly 7 years behind bars, Amy Fisher, now 24 years old, walked out of the Albion Correctional Facility in upstate New York. The event was widely covered by the press and was an indication that the passage of time had not diminished the notoriety of the case, a notoriety that seems destined to follow Fisher wherever she goes. The notoriety extends to all the players in the drama. Back in 1994, when Joey Buttafuoco was released after serving 4 months of a 6-month jail sentence for statutory rape, he sounded repentant.
What can I say? I did what I had to do to end it. I took my time.
Wait, some drink.
Joey tried showbiz, hosting a cable talk show in Los Angeles. In February 2003, he was back in the news, this time because Mary Jo had filed for divorce.
Okay. I'm about to get off here. I'm in movie watch.